Hey grade 7, welcome to another edition of Mr. V Teaches Math, and one of the things that we're going to be working on today is starting to look at the probability of things happening, and we're going to call that today possible outcomes. So we're going to conduct mathematical experiments, we're going to state possible outcomes for an experiment, and we're going to determine how likely possible outcomes are. So, the problem that we're going to be working with today, we're going to imagine that you were given a die and a coin, told to roll the die and toss the coin, and told to record the results on a chart. You'd be conducting a mathematical experiment. The results are called outcomes. The question that you're going to be working with in just a few minutes is, what are all the possible outcomes for this experiment? If you had a die and you had a coin and you had to toss them all, what are the possibilities? Okay? So, if you roll a die, your possible outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, because there's 6 sides to this die. The possibility for tossing a coin is either heads or tails. If you combine those possible outcomes, you could have heads in 1, heads in 2, heads 3, heads 4, heads 5, heads 6, and then likewise tails 1, tails 2, tails 3, tails 4, tails 5, and tails 6. You could have what's called 12 possible outcomes. Now, these outcomes, because a die is pretty much evenly weighted and because a coin is pretty much evenly weighted, all the outcomes are what's called equally likely, which means that you don't have any greater likelihood of rolling and spinning or rolling and tossing one outcome as opposed to other ones. Okay? So each one has the same chance of happening. Some experiments are not equally likely. If you look at this spinner diagram, I have 3 different sections. I have yellow, blue, and red. The possible outcomes, or the likelihood, is not equally likely because red is much larger than the other 2. So you would say that these 3 options are not equally likely. In fact, the probability of spinning a red is half, or 50%, and the probability of spinning a yellow or a blue is only 25% for each. Okay? So that's having to do with possible outcomes and with things that are equally likely. What you're going to be asked to do is look at a bunch of different options, determine what all the possible outcomes are, and then tell me whether or not it's equally likely or not equally likely. And if it's not, then tell me why. So pretty quick video right now, but that's what you'll be working on tomorrow. Have a great night.